Across the country and across the past couple of years, we've seen more and more candidates changing the way that they're fundraising for their campaigns, abstaining from taking corporate PAC money, not trying to do like massive fundraisers. Elizabeth Warren is a great example of that. Not every candidate necessarily is doing things in new ways. There's still a lot of traditional, old school political fundraising. And I want to get into that with a particular case having to do with Representative Richard Neal. And joining us now to break down this aspect of fundraising is author and journalist David Daley. David, welcome to the Damage Report.
A pleasure to be here, thank you.
Glad to have you here. So let's talk about the new fundraising report that was revealed for Representative Neal. What are some of your main takeaways from it?
What's amazing about this is that the congressman is the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. So that's the most powerful tax writing committee in the House of Representatives. And so what you see in his FEC report is that the most powerful entrenched corporations in the country have lined up to give him hundreds of thousands of dollars, but also that Neal is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to raise this money. So the congressman spent the first 3 months of the year essentially crisscrossing America from wine country to South Beach food festivals, where he stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, to a tour of Manhattan, to a weekend on Cape Cod, a weekend in Boston, $2,500, $5,000 a pop for these lobbyists to join him in private settings in which they are wined and dined, and nobody pays for a thing except for the American people, who get stuck with the bill as the congressman manipulates the tax code to benefit these corporations who are funding him.
And I know the audience is probably thinking that these are just groupies for Representative Neal, but it turns out that you've actually identified some aspects of the writing of policy in the near future that could benefit some of these industries. Can you tell us specifically about Representative Neal and H&R Block?
Oh, it's an amazing story. So one of the main corporate policies that H&R Block has wanted forever, and also TurboTax, which is owned by a company called Intuit, is they have wanted to keep the IRS out of the business of offering a free file system to the American people. So 36 countries around the world, you can file your taxes for free, and the government sends you the forms with all of your information already filled in. Because, I mean, let's face it, if they already have our 1099s, our W-2s, it would be really easy for them simply to send us this. So TurboTax and H&R Block have tried to keep the government out of the free file system for years. About a dozen years ago, they succeeded in setting up a free file system in which if you make under $66,000 a year, you can file through TurboTax or H&R Block for free. The trouble is they don't tell you that this exists. Only 3% of Americans who are eligible for this even know that it is possible. TurboTax and H&R Block go out of their way to hide this. They actually have script on their website, and they've bought ads on Google that if you search for TurboTax free file, it takes you to a TurboTax paid page. So they've done everything that they can do to keep this a secret, and then to charge you or to upsell you into paid products if you do figure out that it exists. So Elizabeth Warren, even the IRS's own public advocate, all kinds of consumer groups have said that this program is an absolute failure. What Richard Neal and the Ways and Means Committee have done is they've codified this program into law. Back in March and in April, when Ways and Means was marking up something that they gave the Orwellian title of the Taxpayer First Act to, they snuck something in there that says that the IRS is permanently prohibited from setting up a free file system. This is the #1 giveaway that H&R Block and TurboTax could have ever wanted. Neal gave it to them. Oh, and by the way, H&R Block and TurboTax give Neal tens of thousands of dollars.
So that, as you pointed out, is a fascinating case study. There are others available in your piece, which I believe is available on the Boston Globe, correct?
Yes, it is. It's in the Boston Globe.
And so there's other examples there. And the fascinating thing is that like we focus on sort of illegal corruption or arguably illegal corruption, but all of this is 100% legal, correct?
I think that's right. I think that it's the legal corruption that is the real problem in Washington. Neal takes tens of thousands of dollars from these companies and then he does their bidding. The New York Times just had a report on the 30 companies in this country that make the most money and yet not only don't pay any federal income taxes, but that they got a refund. Well, Neal in 2018 took money from 17 of those 30 companies, which means that when Amazon gives him $9,800, that $9,800 is more than Amazon is paying for roads or clean air or the national defense. It is insane. This is legal corruption. It's pay-to-play politics, and it has to stop.
And by the way, it's a reminder that it is not just on one side of the aisle, that this sort of behavior can come when you get a new Congress. It doesn't necessarily mean that things are going to fundamentally change. David Daley, author and journalist, thank you so much for joining us today.
A pleasure, thank you.
Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.